Hi-ho, everyone, and welcome back to the adventures of Turwinkle, the gnome mage. Well, hi, Turwinkle.
Hi there.
Are you all set for tonight?
Affirmative.
Well, great, because tonight we have a guild interview with the Celestial Vigil. And we are in, as you can see here, the Moonglade. This is the first time we've been here, and wow, look at this place. It's so very calm and peaceful that, boy, we could just go and take a nap over here on these beds here. That would be nice, but we'd better actually go do the interview. So let's hop over, and we're going to meet the guild leader here, and we're going to talk all about this great new guild on the Worm Rest Accord server. So we'll be right back with the guild leader and the guild. All right, well, I found him sitting. Hello, Alt Gray. Continue on, sir. We're trying to talk here. Okay. I found him just lounging around this well here, and they look great. And we've got the guild leader right here, and this is. I guess I'm going to let you pronounce your name because I don't want to mess it up. So go ahead, sir.
It's Marcanus of Amethyst, the Celestialist Harbinger, Shaman, and Der Außenseiter. Also just Marcus, or Amethyst, and Grand Harbinger of the Celestial Vigil.
Well, excellent. You're a level 50 Draenei Shaman, and you're currently being Mark. What is being Mark, sir?
Just emphasizing Mark's Markness. You have to be like a vigilant to understand that, though.
Okay. Okay, we may come back to that, so we'll hold on to that. All right, so you've got some of your guild members here tonight, so let's start on the left and work our way down here. So let me hop over here, and we'll see the person on the left, and I'll let you introduce them.
Yep.
And okay, so we've got this person here, sitting here on the very left. Who is this?
That's Sire Sela Rosenthal, also the Child of Thorns and Soul of the Rose. Also, we just call him Izzy Sai Rose, or quote-unquote Little Gentleman, from the Valley of Roses, and he is a mystic of the Celestial Vigil and a Gilnean child, level 71. And he's been looking deep in thought about something for about the past week.
Okay, so he's really thinking about something. And let me ask you, he plays a child worgen then?
Yes, he does. He does a very good job of it.
Okay, excellent. We'll come back to that as well. That's an interesting RP aspect. Okay, so the next person here.
Yep, just known as Castos, a ginger druid, stinky mender, or possibly plastered puppy, sir. Or we just call him. Yeah, you got that from me. It makes me laugh every time. So we usually just call him Cass or Cassie to be friendly, and he is a watcher of the Celestial Vigil.
Alrighty, excellent. And last but certainly not least.
And over here is Ram of a Red Oak, or the Druid of the Wild, an Elder, and a Celestialist Druid. We just usually call him Ram, from the clan of the Red Oak, and he is currently an acolyte of the Celestial Vigil, but he is undergoing his initiation rites so that he may become a mystic, just like Sire.
Oh,
And
awesome.
he's
Okay.
Currently being all astrally awesome,
Okay.
as you can see.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, great. So there you have it. Have a few of the members here, folks. And so we're going to go ahead and hop right into the questions. And so we'll come right back. All right. So we're sitting down and we're going to get to know this guild. So first of all, sir, how did you come up with the name for your guild?
Well, basically, I do an off-WoW roleplay with my friend Bjorn, and we kind of just roleplay in Skype and Steam. And in that universe that we've basically all created, I have this race called the Shavasarach, and they have a philosophy or religion called Celestialism. And I thought when I came back into WoW, I really liked that concept, and I would bring Celestialism into WoW as a philosophy that people are able to easily adhere to. And so I figured I could, I was trying to find a guild that would be able to suit my character as a Celestialist, and I really couldn't find anything that my character would really be able to grow and experience things in a way that I would like.
Sure.
So I decided, I've never done it before, but I'm going to try and create my own guild, and we'd be, a spiritual group of vigilantes who adhere to the philosophy that is known as Celestialism.
Oh, well, awesome. So can you explain that philosophy a little bit?
Sure. It's somewhat complex, but once you break it down, it can be fairly simple. It essentially teaches that all things in existence are part of one universe, which we call the celestial flow, and all actions affect the flow. And all of these actions conglomerate together, and we collectively call them the universal song. And you can measure the health or the prosperity of the celestial flow by the prosperity of its citizens, the abundance of life, and the harmonious relations between the living organisms that make up the flow.
Wow.
And, yeah, it gets pretty complex. And basically, what we want to do as celestialists is we want to increase the prosperity of the flow and aid its health by observing each action in the universal song and seeing how it affects the universe or the flow and how it affects those around it. And by using reason and compassion, we can determine which actions are unethical or immoral and which actions are. And we seek to do good, wholesome actions that aid the flow's health and do away with immoral actions that cause unnecessary harm and destruction.
Okay, well, that sure beats a lot of the guilds where they just say we smash things.
Well, we do smash things, but we usually have like a logical, compassionate reason, as we would call it. It's like, yes, we have concluded that this thing is, judging by what it does, the universe around it deserves to be smashed.
Sure.
We go very in depth, way more in depth than that, about what we do and why we're going to do something.
Well, that is, I'm telling you, folks, that is fantastic to take what an amazing concept, and to put it into a role play is just amazing. So now there's a website, and we talked earlier, there's a website that people can go to read up on this RP.
Yes, I'm probably going to butcher the name of the website, general term, but the celestialvigil.shivtr.com. I have no idea exactly how you pronounce ShivTR, but I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with that website, as many other guilds use it. And that has everything, almost everything at least, that you need to know about Celestialism, general info about what the guild does, ICLE and OOCLE, what we kind of expect from our members, which really isn't much, because we're a very laid back, just do what you want guild. And then any questions you have, we're free. You're free to ask, and we're always there to answer.
Sure. What we'll do is I'll put a link in the episode, so you folks can check that out as well. And we'll be covering some of those aspects of the guild here in the show. So we'll come back and we'll dig a little further into what we've got. All right. So now I noticed on your guild tag there it says you're chaotic good. So can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Basically, it's the same as we view each action and we study it and research this action to see its effects on the universe and the organisms around it. The same way we do with actions, we do with laws, because we also view those to be in the same category as actions. And we view these man-made laws that they also are capable of being flawed and immoral, just like regular actions are. So we often will not follow a law just because that's the law, just like we won't believe or disbelieve in something just because, well, that's just the way it is. You got to prove to us in in a logical, reasonable, and at the same time compassionate and empathetic manner why this action is moral or immoral, why this belief is malevolent or benevolent for us to follow it. And just like we'll look at laws and we'll think, okay, exactly how does this affect the universe around it? What does it do to society? And if we determine that a law is unjust, we just ignore it. Like we don't even give it that much. We don't even give it that much thought. Like if we will just outright ignore it.
Okay.
And so that's basically what we do as chaotic good. Is like if we don't agree with a law, we will not do it. We will not follow it, and we will break any law necessary to do what we perceive as good and benevolent and necessary.
Oh, okay. And Turwinkle wants to point out there's gnome law too, not just man-made law, but gnome-made law too.
Yeah, gnome laws too. Like We don't discriminate against the gnome laws. We treat them just as we treat, the Forsaken laws and the Blood Elf laws and the
Okay.
Draenei laws and the Magic laws.
Okay. So you guys are a new guild. So how long have you been? How long ago did you form the guild?
I believe we did in May, I want to say. May or, yeah, around there. And basically, it came to me as a thought because I couldn't find a guild that I really connected with, so I decided I'd make my own. And we had a pretty slow start because, I was doing, online schooling and I was still pretty new to the server, so I didn't really have much of a way to, get the word out there. But I went out, I did walk-ups, and I made, like, a lot of friends, and they all decided, we're all gonna conglomerate in this guild and have a bunch of fun time together. So we've been around for about 2 to 3 months, and we are currently like 14 and 3/4, somewhere around there, almost level 15. And
Nice.
yeah, so I think we're doing pretty good for a pretty relatively new guild. As people say during this time, a lot of guilds are having trouble, but we seem to be doing relatively well.
Well, excellent. So we'll be back with some more questions. All right. So if somebody wanted to join your guild, how would they go about doing so?
Well, there are multiple ways, and we're basically free in any method really. They could first go by registering on our guild site and filling out the two applications we have, one for becoming a member of the site and another for actually joining the guild. They could even just up and ask me about, like, hey, can I join your guild? And I'll give them the spiel about how you're registering and filling out the applications. And our favorite way, and this is how we specifically like it, is if they do a walk-up with us in Moonglade, and we just basically role-play things out, and they develop an interest, and then they're ICly inducted, which makes things so much easier.
Right.
And yes, then once they're in, I will explain to them the registration process on the guild site. Basically, you have to fill out the application in order to become a member. Well, it's a very short application too. It's just like a few questions about you and your character, and we're very lenient. So it's not like, oh, this person hasn't memorized their lore 110%, so we're gonna reject them. We even got like a new member about that recently, who the last guild she tried joining, it was like, oh nope, she doesn't know her lore enough. So we gotta kick her out. It's we're not. That was very, very stringent, and we're not like that. We're very welcoming of like various types of ideas. Like if you can justify something ICly in a way that makes sense, we're okay with it. Some guilds might get really up in your face about it, but we do not. So we're very lenient on our recruitment process and how to ascend the ranks.
All right. Well, awesome. So we'll come back with some more questions. All right. So how is your guild structured as far as like guild ranks and whatnot?
Well, we first start out as an acolyte, which is where a person will get accustomed to the guild, like the type of role plays we do, and this is basically the initiate rank. And they go through during this time we give them about 2 weeks to get everything settled and stuff, because some people can't be on all the time, so that time is very valuable to them.
Sure.
This time they will register things out on the guild site, which it only takes like half an hour really, but most people like to procrastinate. And then they'll get into some of our events because we have them about every week. And
great.
during these events, we will judge them based on their roleplay abilities, seeing exactly where they would fit in the vigil. And after that, whenever they're ready or when the 2 weeks is up, we do an initiation ceremony where we perform a pilgrimage to Moonglade, and then they will join one of 3 of our disciplines, and which are basically the main divisions in the guild. We have the discipline of the Mystics, the discipline of the Watchers, and the discipline of the Guardians. And each one performs their own role in Celestialism and the Vigil. The Mystics are basically your spellcasters and scholars. They are the ones who will go on expeditions and excavations researching ancient artifacts, and they're also spiritual advisors, as they are the ones who commune with the divine and talk with spirits and stuff like that, leading the vigil on a spiritual path.
Okay.
The Guardians are your basic soldiers. They are the ones who are on the front lines. They are the defenders. They are the ones that we're most likely to send into some dangerous camp of sort to slaughter everyone who deserves to be slaughtered.
Okay.
And they will also defend our bases and camps wherever we might set those up. And you have the Watchers, who serve as scouts, spies. They will engage in espionage work or plant false evidence in case there's someone we really, really despise for whatever reason because they're very destructive to the flow. We will do whatever we can to get them out of their destructive position. And they also serve as assassins. So you could be anything from benevolent to malevolent in regard to that field. And after the basic discipline ranks, there are zealots, which are basically kind of like your veterans. They're the ones who have been with the Vigil for a while, and they're still in their disciplines. But that's basically shown they have dedication to the guild and the philosophy. And above that is the Astral Ward, and those are the leaders of the disciplines, the officers essentially. And they are appointed by the members of the Astral Sanctum, which is the governing body. And Astral Sanctum is made of the Overseer of the Mystics, Overseer of the Guardians, and Overseer of the Watchers. And then also by the Grand Harbinger himself, which is moi.
All right. Well, great. You really have that well planned out.
It took so long planning everything out, but we finally nailed it down.
Well, it's wonderful. There's a lot of guilds that kind of do a hodgepodge and don't pay much attention to it. But I think it's important, again, not only for your guild structure, but for your RP as well, because it keeps everything on track. So excellent job there, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we'll be back with a few more questions, and then we'll let these poor folks go. So we'll be... All right, folks. So what I've decided to do here is we're going to ask the members what they enjoy about being in the Celestial Vigil. And so starting with Castros here, I asked, okay, again, what do you enjoy about being in the Celestial Vigil? And Castro says, well, I enjoy the realistic view of the world that being in the Vigil offers lost sheep such as I. And the loyalty is present constantly. Well, great. So he enjoys being in a guild that the members all actually are very loyal to. And that always does give you a sense of security, knowing that there are people that are going to back you up and be there for you when you need them. So great job and awesome answer, Castros. So let's go. All right, so we ask Isir the same question, and she says, personally, I like how the guild casts out the stereotypical thought of quote-unquote good and quote-unquote evil, and the sense of justice presented. This guild looks deeper, seeing how one's actions are ethical or not ethical. If the action is a direct threat against the celestial flow, the harmony of our universe, then we take action to stop that malevolent force. Holy smokes, what a wonderful answer. Great. So we will move on to the last, and again, not least, person here, and we'll get back with his answer. All right, well, once again, last but certainly not least, Romaver. How do you pronounce that one more time?
I always say Romaver.
Okay, Romaver. That actually sounds better. But Romaver says, I love the Vigil. The people in it are awesome, and we all have such a wide array of ideas in our characters. We all have a common goal, the improvement of the celestial flow. Luckily for the people of Azeroth, the interests of the celestial flow are what most would consider quote-unquote good, though the methods of our characters go to maintain the flow may seem a little more towards the quote-unquote evil. In the end, our work is for the greater good of the universe in our eyes, but we'll take whatever way we have to make our vision a reality. So wonderful answer, and they all seem to really love the guild, sir.
Yep. There are dedicated little members, and they've been with us through, thick and thin, even when we were going through a rough patch where recruitment was very slow and we weren't really having that many events.
Okay, and are you going to participate in things like the Three Lanterns market event and those kind of things?
We definitely intend to, because massive public roleplay events like that, it'd be a good opportunity for one, to get the word out, and two, it offers like another point of view in a way, where you have like some guilds there, like maybe the Golden Law comes and they bring their ideas and their views of the world to such a roleplay event. And then we come and we have our ways and our views, and then another guild comes with theirs, and it makes it into a very, very, for lack of a better word, multicultural event where there's all these different experiences and all these different viewpoints, and it makes the experience that much better for everyone involved.
Sure. Well, great. All right, folks. Well, we're going to come back with one last round of questions, and then we're going to let these poor folks go. All right, sir. I said we'd come back to it, and we have to know what being Mark is all about.
uh, this, Marcanus is definitely one of my more eccentric characters in a sense. He almost does it in a very sarcastic manner because he just likes deriving reactions from people due to his just out there actions. Um, he's a very, very stubborn character. He's very, like he will be set in his ways, and he will tell you bluntly how he feels about something. And essentially, being Mark is where he's just in one of those very, very stubborn moods. He's very, very, set in his ways, and he's just very, very eccentric, and he will go out and say the most random things, and he will make people feel comfortable with his jokes, or uncomfortable in some cases. But he tends to be a very, very lively character, and essentially being Mark is one of his better moods, where he's kind of like this big brother-esque character for everyone in the guild.
Okay, awesome. All right, one last question for you, sir. Is there anything that we haven't asked about, or something that you would like folks to know about your guild before we let you go?
There is one thing, and just like our IC attitude regarding how we accept people of all stripes from warlocks to paladins, our OOC atmosphere is very laid back, it's very hospitable. We work to make all forms of people here feel welcome, because in the past I've been with a couple of guilds where everything was extremely strict. There was a very, very stringent way of playing, a very, very stringent way of acting, even OOC-ly. There were a lot of rules that just felt so unnecessary, and it even made things, less enjoyable for the people involved. I want people to know that we are very laid back, very hospitable. We don't have that many rules. Just the biggest rule is use common sense. And our structure, guild structure, our officers, you don't have to be afraid of them. Because I remember one guild I was in, I got chastised by an officer and made to look like an idiot just because I told a joke. And but here we believe that it's better to rule the guild and lead it by gaining respect from your followers for being a compassionate, understanding leader that feels like a person, as opposed to leading a guild by making your members fear you because you have a fuse that is shorter than a goblin frag bomb. So like that's one of the main thing I want people to know is like you don't have to be scared of your fellow guildies. You don't have to be scared of judgment just because you say something in OOC chat that's seen as strange. You don't have to be worry about anyone chastising you just because you have some idea that could be out of the ordinary. We have a very, very friendly, human-like atmosphere. You actually feel like you're talking to people, not these alien role players who center their lives on making the guild very, very uptight and focus on a strict set of guidelines.
Sure. Well, fantastic. What a wonderful guild you have here, sir. And what a great idea. I am really impressed by, number one, the concept that you've come up with, celestialism. Number two, just the whole way that you've put this guild together and kind of the relaxed atmosphere based around, again, this fantastic concept that you've come up with. I look forward to seeing where you folks are going, and I look forward to seeing you folks in the future, and hopefully with a lot more people following the ways of celestialism. It's really a great idea, and so kudos to you guys.
Thank you. We're going to try our best.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to come back, and Turwinkle's going to say goodbye to these folks and then head on back to his tent and allow these poor folks to do the same. So we'll be back. All right, folks. Well, what a wonderful evening and what a wonderful guild. So if you're looking to join a guild that's based around something new and something great like celestialism and kind of broaden your horizons and broaden your RP a little bit and do something that's different than your typical hack and slash, this is the guild for you. And so, Turwinkle, excellent job. Why don't you give those folks a nice big thank you?
I am in your debt.
Well, okay, Turwinkle, that works sort of. All right, we'll let him get away with that, thank you. But what a great job. So we will say goodbye, and we'll let these poor folks go. So give them a nice goodbye, Turwinkle.
Farewell.
And thank you folks very much, and we'll see Turwinkle back. All right, folks. Well, we're back in the tent in Refuge Point, and boy, Turwinkle, what a great group, weren't they?
Sure.
Yeah, they really were good. That celestialism, man, what a concept. I am really still impressed with what an awesome idea he's taken and turned it into such a fabulous RP. I am really looking forward to hearing more about it and seeing, again, where this guild's going to go. And what a fine group. Very patient. Thank you so much, you guys. They sat there and were very patient, very kind to allow Turwinkle to take up so much of their evening tonight. So thank them one more time, Turwinkle. Give them a nice big thank you.
Allow me to express my deepest thanks.
Yes, excellent job, Turwinkle. And again, we want to thank you folks for joining us tonight. If you liked the episode, click like. If you would like to comment not only on the guild, the Celestial Vigil, or on any of its members, please do so. If you'd like to comment on the episode or any of our other episodes, we'd love to hear them. And so do so below. Let us know what you thought. And finally, subscribe. Join Team Turwinkle tonight. We'd love to have you, so join. All right, Turwinkle, excellent job, sir. Again, questions right on point and did a wonderful job. Moonglade is such a beautiful and peaceful place, it was hard to leave. We probably should have just taken a nap there. But thank you again, sir. You did a great job. And we, sir, will see you next time.
I'll miss you.
We'll miss you too, Turwinkle. Bye-bye.